that attached to someone. It's very difficult being human. Now, you're Buddhist, so therefore, you should cultivate yourself, number one, to be independent and not clingy, trying to love, non attached, and always anticipate what if they leave you. That should always be behind every Buddhist mind. This proper, wise anticipation. You should always cultivate yourself uh, to be independent, to know yourself, to love yourself, to accept yourself for who you are. The one thing that stuck out when you said routine, that my routine would adversely be affected. Obviously, yes. I mean, again, we've conditioned ourselves. Like, this is my routine. I wake up, brush my teeth, I go do push-ups, I pick her up, we have breakfast together, we do the boyfriend girlfriend thing, and then she goes to school, and then I go to work, and then da da da. It's this cycle of repetitiveness. And then one day they're not there anymore, and people are like, "Oh my God, my whole world just turned upside down." Um, and so in Buddhism, the Buddha wants you to see three things. He wants you to see impermanence, change, and control, which is not everything lasts forever. People are subject to change. People and things are subject to change. I mean, who were you 5 years ago? Right?
Very different.
Very different, right? Who will you be in the next 5 years? Who knows? Okay. Um, and then rarely are things under your control. For example, your body. If the body is unreliable, undependable, then what makes everything else in life dependable and reliable? On the days that you need it not to get sick, your body is sick. So it's like, what the hell? Right? So if our
Yes.
own human body is unreliable and undependable, then you can see that we can't really control a lot of things out there. Nonetheless, her. Yeah, try to control her. See how that goes. Mm. Um. So I hear you. I understand where you're coming from at this age. It's my encouragement that if this is what you want, and there's consequences that lies in the desire that you want. Okay, remember the Buddha taught the Four Noble Truths. There is suffering in life, which is life sucks. We all know that. And number two, life sucks because we want stuff. And right now we want a girlfriend in our life and trying to make it work. And number three, if you don't want life to suck, stop wanting stuff. And then of course, you want the path to peace and liberation is the Noble Eightfold Path. All right, so let's back up to number two. Desire causes suffering. And you're going to hang on to this hope, which is thin, not so promising, a lot of doubts. A lot of people have told you this. Science have told us this. And I'm basically just repeating what science is telling us. I'm basically just grabbing your report, your accurate empirical report of what's happening in your world, in her world, and I make my informed decision, informed impression, right, through the lens of this brain that have counseled hundreds and thousands of students who have worked many divorce cases, thousands of divorce cases in my 18 years in the courtroom, to give you this wisdom. And it's not to discourage you, it's to prepare you what you're getting yourself into, the long fight, and if the fight is worth it, if this love is worth the fight. And I commend you for fighting. Yeah, I mean, we need more fighters out there. You have a lot of people just divorce nowadays, right? Nowadays people are just like, what? What? You don't want to go to therapy? Well, you know what? The divorce paper is already prepared. Why don't you sign it? Line 5, right there. I'll get it notarized tomorrow, and we'll be all set in like a couple months. I had to shut the door. They go to the bar, find somebody else, and there's that. Um, And but I just want you to exercise your intelligence and put it down objectively and have a plan, have a strategic plan. You're in the army, right? Our
Yes.
generals plan things very meticulously and very logistically, right? Not like this Ukraine war, which is a joke, right? We look at logistically this Ukraine war and stuff like that is a complete joke. No one plans anything, and the generals have no idea what's happening right now. And we have a president that obviously doesn't even know where the podium is. So I came across a patch today, and I was going by it, and it's so controversial. I'm a controversial monk anyway, so who cares? It said Biden dementia, and underneath it said somebody gonna call me out for this one. A monk getting and on the bottom it says "Make America Forget Again," and I died. I took rebirth in those moments and died. Came back a different human. So you gotta have a plan. Trying to get it down to a science. The science of love, the science of relationship. Plan out what you want to tell her, say to her. Perhaps write it. Maybe it's more impactful if you write it in a letter. It's more romantic and impactful. I think we've also lost that art of writing, the art of writing romantic letters, the rose petals on the ground leading up to the bed before you have sex. Like we've missed all of these things. It's just like you just text. You know what I mean? All of these very superficial, fake. I don't know. It's just not what I did back in my days. And one of the most impactful things is writing. I have found when I wanted things done and when I needed to express. Oh, and the girls that I loved, I had I had this great experience that they would write me little small notes and like, yeah, I miss you, I love you, I'll see you again tonight, blah blah blah, or like surprise and put sticky notes in my car, and I don't know, I just miss those letters. But it's the letters that you probably need to try that different. If you want to fight, I'm teaching you how to fight for love, and which is there's an intruder in here. Someone please call 911. I am trying to achieve peace talking to people around the world. Oh god. You have a flashbang I can have?
Not on me at the moment.
It's a great time to grab a flashbang and throw it at the door right now with some of these humans that's in this room. Live streams. You see the look I'm giving these humans?
Yes.
Where's my expectation of privacy? They forget I have a lot of powers, so I can just reach back behind this couch and grab a lightning bolt and just throw it at them. So I think that you're very reflective. You've done a lot of self-reflection. So again, my suggestion is to write her a letter.
Yes, Venerable.
And that should really shake her up, because usually letters are like last straws. Letters of admissions from colleges, letters to judges, letters to lawyers, letters to you. It's a serious thing when you get a document. You should really know how to write a letter. You know how to write a letter? How to, date.
Yes.
You know how to like indent, all that good stuff.
Definitely. Not as good as I used to be, but
Okay,
at a
it
basic
needs to
level,
look like a
yes.
very official document. It need not to print. You better get some really nice paper too, because you want to create that impression. You know that you're serious and what's lies in here. So the letter needs to say the what, and it needs to indicate the how. What is the problem, and how we're gonna fix it? I think you're inching closer to doing the best that you possibly can, as the young man that you are. I really commend you for that. It's only so much that you can do until it's become unbearable, intolerable, and you cannot endure it anymore. So I don't think I'm missing anything, and I would suggest that you also, while you're waiting for all of this unfold, while you're waiting for this other human to change, and to consider and reconsider the your position in this, your view on this, your recommendation and advice on this, that my encouragement for you is to work on yourself more than doing this dance that may or may not be promising. What is promising is cultivating self-reliance. That's what I did, right? And by the way, I forgot to ask, how did you discover me on TikTok, Instagram?
On Instagram.
Right. And what led you to me out of all the monks that exist in the world?
You're two things. I think out of the monks I've seen, you're a very young monk, but also you've been like a very real monk, like easily like not the ancient types, but you're able to connect to us, young individuals. So that's why I started following you.
Well, I'm real. I just want to keep it real. Like, some people are just so fake, and I'm like, that's not how we do things. Like, are you reading a script? What the hell's going on? In the days of the Buddha, he was a realist. He was just real. So I just didn't want to BS people, or just like, it is what it is, and it can't be what it ain't. That's how the Buddha taught us. It is what it is. It can't be what it ain't. Stop tripping. So yeah, but I do look young, but I'm a very spiritually old. You can tell, just
Yes.
Biden dementia old. Make America forget again. Um, Self-reliance. So, solidify yourself. Be solid. I'm pretty sure that there are personalities in your platoon, brigade, that or leadership that you have seen in there, and you idolize that leadership where you are.
Yes, Venerable.
Somebody that you look up to, a lieutenant or a sergeant, perhaps, the way how they carry themselves. Do you get you pick up that? I
Very
imagine.
much so.
Yeah, I imagine you are a socially intelligent human, where you see certain people carry themselves, commissioned or non-commissioned officers, and you're like, damn, he's got it. That's a solid dude. That is one hell of a drill sergeant. That is one. Get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So my thing for young people is always to cultivate yourself like a rock. You're unmovable by things that are good, and unmovable by things that are bad. We should never rely on things that is exterior, outside of us, for validation, for self-worth, self-esteem, self-value, and stuff like that. We should always, I know who I am. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. I have standards, and need to have. That's one thing I like about military. I mean, I got to where I am today was because my father was a lieutenant. And that man had high standards, and I liked that. I don't know. I was growing up watching, and I liked the standard that he held. And I always looked at my dad like this superhero in the house, and I'm like, damn, that man know how to carry himself, and he can solve a lot of problems. Like, he read a lot, very knowledgeable. His oral delivery of instructions was, like, you felt safe and sound, and you knew, like, the man knew what he was talking about. That's what women look for anyways. Women look for a good leader, a man that has a strong backbone, that knows how to lead, that have standards, that have principles, that have morals and ethics. So while you're young, I want you to think about this. I just want you to reflect and think about what kind of man you want to become. And slowly and naturally, you will attract the types that you deserve, that is meant for you. You wouldn't have to run after certain girls, women, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yes, Venerable.
And I think that's one of man's great downfall, is to not look within. And all of our philosophers previous, the Buddha being the first one in the world, but Plato, Aristotle, Jesus, they all wanted us to know ourselves, know thyself. And where people get themselves in trouble, or they do the impulsive things, impulsive things, is that they don't understand and know themselves. So during all of this to unfold, have some faith, some confidence, but know the percentage of that, and also look at your own time management. Are you good with your own time management? Yeah.
Moderate, decent enough.
But you first shook your head when I asked. So we inspire other people buying through our own change. So once we get it down, and other people will look at that and realize, okay, maybe I should be just like him. It just sets the tone. You know what I mean? But if
Yes,
we
Venerable.
but if we haven't solidified that, perfected that as much as we possibly can. I'm not saying you got to be perfect in that, but trying to solidify that and perfect that as much as you can. Then how are we to expect others to live up to our unrealistic expectation that we have not set forth ourselves, have not yet lived ourselves, have not yet exemplified ourselves?
Yes, sir.
And everything I told you, I have done in my life. I've been in positions of leadership, and there was a time in my life where I was appointed head of a security group, and so I was in a position of leadership, of leading young armed protection officers. So I had to discipline them. I had to lead by example. I had to be on point, on time, and that's where it gives me leverage and grounds to ask them, like, you're late. When have you ever seen me late? And then they all look at me like, oh shit. Patrick was a corporal in the Marines. He was a corporal, and then he got demoted, and then he got back to corporal. And I don't know how they still kept him in there, but I came picked him up one time, and we went to an event, and he just grabbed his vest and leg holster, and when we got to the event, then he puts it on in front of the door where people were watching us. And I'm like, Patrick, the Marines teach you this? That when you go to war, you don't put your stuff on, you just grab everything and just run, and then out in the battlefield, and then you put on your vest, and then your leg holster in front of the enemy? Marines for you. So I ain't got nothing against Marines, so don't use that against me. I'm recording live. So anyways, but my point is to exemplify and solidify our strengths. And if we before we look at the faults of others, the Buddha told us, look at your own damn faults. And work on your own faults. You're Vietnamese. You understand Vietnamese?
Yes.
So the word change is đi tu. And kiếm lỗi mà sửa. And that's what that means. Đi tu means kiếm lỗi mà sửa. Kiếm lỗi is to find our faults, để sửa, and then to fix. So basically, the path of Buddhism is to find our faults and fix them. Whatever it is, our flaws, defilements, shortcomings, we try to improve it. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and better is best.
Yes, Venerable.
So, I think you're doing phenomenal for someone your age and trying to make this work as much as you can. But, just put some time aside for yourself and do what needs to be done. study what need to be studied, practice what need to be practiced. And I think through time, karma will have it for you, fate will have it for you, and I think you will bloom like wildflowers. And not to have, don't beat yourself up too much right now. I had to endure, and suffering is awesome, by the way. We're all gonna have to suffer. We teach you all how to suffer so you suffer less. And there could be a possibility where true love lies 5 years from now, 3 years from now, 7 years from now, for you. And so at some point in my life, I realized that, I've been in love about 7 times. I've given 5 promise rings, and I've used the word love 6 times. So that's pretty serious to understand the meaning of love, to use the word love in the right way. And the exchange of the rings and promises and all of that is a very serious thing. It's a very committed type thing. And somewhere down the line, I was just like, maybe he's not meant for me right now. Maybe he's not. I keep on fighting against the current, and I'm like, what's the point? At some point, I was just like, well, when it comes, it comes. Because I'm just exhausted at this point. I'm just exhausted from chasing after them. I'm just exhausted in being me, and exhausted not being me. And I'm just like, what the hell kind of mask do I want to wear today? Like, no matter what, I couldn't please them. No matter what, I couldn't keep them. And it's just like, it's me, right? It's got to be me, right? And admittedly, it was probably 70% me, 60, 70% me. So I just choose to work on myself and take that time. Again, the organism that we are and how much time it's needed for us to change. So realizing that you make the best use of the time that you have and the time that you're given by karma. The time that you're given. Everyone's got a short amount of a given time. People think that, oh, yeah, well, I'm just going to live my life that I'm going to be 80 years old with the advancements of medicine and biotech and all this other stuff. And no, Felicia. No, Felicia. Sit your ass down. It ain't going to work out the way that you think it's going to work out. Karma's got an expiration date for everybody. And when you have a set time. Any wise person understands that I don't know what that expiration date is, but I need to make the best use of moment to moment, minute to minute, of every day that I have. And what am I going to do today, tomorrow? Do I have a plan for tomorrow to maximize my day? Living my day to live your day like literally like as if it is your last day to live. Why do you think we're having this conversation so rapidly, so quickly? What did you think was going to happen? You follow me. You know that I have 39,000 people on Instagram.
Yes, Venerable.
And yet the Venerable answers to you immediately and says, are you ready to talk now? I guarantee you reach out to 10 monks right now. They'll be like, talk to my assistant. Can't talk right now. They don't even impress me. I am perhaps the one and only in the world that has rapid response. Because I don't know what people are suffering. Like, I don't know if they're suicidal, homicidal. I don't know none of these things. But I am living by example, inspiring you. My words have zero meaning if I don't live it. By my own principle and value and standard. And you see, I don't waste a minute with you. I don't even know who you are. No idea who you are. Do I judge? Nope. You are just like every other human. And any other human that reaches out, I get back as fast as I possibly can. With all the competing priorities and dying people in the hospital and funerals and teaching and very active timeline. So that's how I live my life. So hopefully all of you are inspired by this monk that lives his life every day as if it is my last. Say we get done talking and I suffer a heart attack. I'll be the only monk in the casket with a big smile. Why? Because I did the best that I could when I was alive. When I was on every breath that I took it to serve humanity. So you have to ask you, every breath you take, what is it for? And for what?
Yes, Venerable.
For it was what was it for? For what? And was it worth it? Is it worth it? So I think we should continue our conversation. Again, until she agrees to couples counseling, just do what I've recommended so far. Um, you can go back to this recording. It's on YouTube. And if she doesn't go this route, well, then focus on you. Then I will just do individual work with you to solidify you and to make you, to just cultivate you into a more effective and efficient human being in the eyes of the Buddha. And that way it will better prepare you in case you break up, and it will better prepare you for the next relationship to come.
Yes, Venerable.
And that
Thank you.
sounds like a great plan. What do you think?
Very great plan. Thank you so much for like hearing me out and taking your time out of your day to hear and like and address my issues and be understanding of everything. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So just reflect on what I've said. It would be wise at this point to also start keeping a journal so you can track your relationship. You can track your own progress about what has been happening, what is happening now, and where you want things to start unfolding in the near foreseeable future. That way you get all of your subconscious emotions and thoughts and feelings down on paper so it doesn't occupy your mind. It clears the way for you to do PT and other stuff. And then it will start to help to see you. It will start to help you see patterns of behavior, patterns of thoughts, um, patterns of habits. And that way you have a better blueprint this point on forward rather than just me, her, she, I, they, and it's all confusing, and it's all subjective. So if we start writing, then we have a more objective view of what's happening, and then it will also document our work together. And as we move into working on communication style, relationship styles, how to survive in a relationship, being 19, 20, 20 years old, working on yourself, I think you'll see tremendous transformation and change, whether this relationship work out or don't work out. So that's my intention for you.
Yes, Venerable.
For you and for her. So hopefully she just have the courage to reach out and do this together. I think it'd be very encouraging that two people are doing work on each other for the sake of being there for one another in this very short life. So you just got to think. And if you need help with the letter, well, write what you got and then send it to me. I'll review it. And Venerable Lee, who is a monk in training, he will also review it. He's 21, so he's on or about your age, and he will give a secondary opinion, and then we'll help you, make a compelling case, and hopefully she reads it, and we get somewhere with it.
Yes, Venerable.
Okay, so I'd like to conclude this session so far, and we will chat in the forthcoming days and see the progress of where this goes.
Yes, Venerable. Thank you so much. You have a good night as well.
You're welcome.
You so much.
You're calling from which state?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, a little chilly up there.
And it's getting colder and colder.
Pennsylvania. UPenn. Ivy League school up there. There's a lot of Vietnamese up there. And then you have
surprising amount.
Yeah, and then you have like Upper Darby. Huh. Maybe I need to go up there. Maybe I will visit there. Maybe December. You ready to receive me in December?
Yes, we are. Pennsylvania citizens are ready to receive you, Venerable.
You're ready to chill with a bald-headed monk in orange running around Pennsylvania?
Anytime.
Okay, awesome. So we shall reconvene in the next couple of days. Let you think, reflect, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I need to make my way up there. I've been in New York. I want to spend more time up north. I like the atmosphere up there. I want to go to Virginia. I have a student in Virginia, and in Pennsylvania, and in New York. One, two, three. I'm starting to become more spontaneous now, so I might just up and just go like I did over this past weekend. So
Gotcha, Venerable. Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a good night. Thank you so
okay,
much.
you too.
Venerable.
Okay, take care. Bye bye.
Take care, Venerable. Thank you.
I hope you all enjoyed it. I gotta take a break. It's been one heck of a day, but I love serving. Love being there.